Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Ball podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. As you might have noticed, this is not live. It's just going to be YouTube and audio podcast because I'm recording this a little late, and I didn't want to, awake anybody with notifications. So we're just going to do this straight to YouTube and audio. But thank you for joining me for watching this on the Monday after WrestleMania. We are going a little late for two reasons. One, WrestleMania. Two, it's Easter weekend, so I couldn't really record early. And three, I wanted to get the second episode of Last of Us done so that we can do a spoiler discussion at the beginning of the podcast. If you have not watched that, please do, or I will try and put time codes in the description so that you guys would know when we talk about it. But yeah, it's been a crazy week here. Got a bunch of stuff done, played a couple video games, and we were able to, get to see both parts of WrestleMania and, watch The Last of Us. So, without further ado, let's get into The Last of Us here. So put my arm up. We're going to start spoilers, and we're going to go from there. So if you watched last week, they changed up a few things from the patrols and stuff like that. Basically, I guess changing some of the changes they made in the first episode were essentially just to make it better for television, less so than how a video game would structure something. I came to grips more and more as I watched the episode 2 times. The second viewing, I understood a little bit more why they did what they did, but I still disagreed with putting Abby so early. I still think the episode should have ended with that final shot of Abby showing up so that the audience can go, who the hell are these guys? And then you open like you did with episode 2 with them and sort of explaining who they are. I don't think you needed that scene at the beginning of episode 1 because everything you did end of episode 1, beginning of episode 2 was enough. That was just a superfluous scene, I guess, to just, I don't even know what that scene did. That scene did nothing outside of that these people were coming to Jackson, which I think the reveal was better than saying, letting these people know up front. But as for the first episode, introduce some things in terms of like a therapist, which Catherine O'Hara's fucking great. Can't wait to see her more in the flashbacks, which we'll get to why there'll be flashbacks in a second. So I can't wait to see her in the flashbacks. And they sort of just set up like a different Jackson than we've seen in the game. I think a little more well realized than the video game Jackson. And the relationships were different. I think they had a few more years to sort of think about what they wanted to do. And I think Craig Mazin having more of a TV mind might have helped Neil focus a little bit more. So episode 1 was fine. It introduced everything. Those of us that played the game were waiting for the moment. And as the episodes kept going on, you knew it was going to be next episode. The one big revelation from episode 1, and I missed her in episode 2, is Isabel Marced is amazing as Dina. I've said this on the other podcast that I'm on. They called this a movie with actresses and even some actors, that sometimes people come on screen and you're just drawn to them immediately. Like, it doesn't take you getting to know their character or have them do an emotional scene. The moment Isabella shows up as Dina, walking in to talk to Joel, you're like, yes, locked in. This character's amazing. And It's not even, it's like the thing I say, for Anya Taylor-Joy and Sam Rockwell. Wow, gorgeous human beings, the both of them. Same with Isabella Marced. There's just a difference because there's a lot of really good-looking people in Hollywood that do movies, but there's just that charisma difference when someone walks on screen, and Pedro Pascal has it as well. Bella took a little while; she didn't have it immediately with me, but perfect casting for Dina, because that's the whole character of Dina, is that the whole town loves her. Like, she's, when she walks in a room, energy goes up and everybody watches what she does and follows her lead in sort of that aspect in a social manner. So nailing that was necessary, and they did a great job with her, and I think she's going to be the MVP of the season in terms of, if we eliminate the obvious, Pedro and Bella, I think she's going to be, as much as I love Caitlin Dever, I think the Isabella Marced casting is going to be the home run. So that's why I was a little upset. Now moving into episode 2, that we didn't see as much of her this episode. She's there for about 5-10 minutes. Then one of the big changes they made was they changed up the morning route, who was on what route. So we did not get the, emotional, leading into sex scene between Dina and Ellie that happens in the game. Spoilers for probably future episodes, that probably happens at some point. Because they had Jesse and Ellie go out and find Eugene's weed shed, which is just a 7-Eleven, apparently in this game, and not in some basement of a library, I think was in the original. Which is probably better. The video game, I think, is one of the few times they did something better in terms of location scouting. Was that being in the basement of a library. But they go off, and then Dina and Joel, instead of Joel and Tommy, go off on the patrol that ends up intersecting with Abby, and then they get to Abby's cabin, and then what happens in the game, and they torture and kill Joel. The one thing I will say, and the reason you hire Caitlin Dever, is, as much as I love the portrayal of Abby in Last of Us 2 by the great Laura Bailey, this, because it's not animated, it's weird to say, her intensity, Caitlin, was needed, and especially because you're kind of changing up the scene a little bit, and I think she nailed it. There was the kind of psychotic, and you could tell she's the leader, like they're all a little scared of her in this situation, but I'm glad. Two things they kept. I love that they kept the shooting his leg out and then tourniqueting it. That was needed and was great. Instead of being the surprise thing, she did it as just a, all right, we're starting this now, sort of a thing. And then they kept the defiant Joel going, just shut the fuck up, essentially, and get on with it, because he knows he's dead at that point. His only hope is to keep screaming, and maybe her friends will stop her from finishing the job. But, obviously that's not what happens, But that's his only hope, is to have them sort of try and talk her into her senses. But little does he know that they all want him dead. She's just a little more intense about it. And the one big change that I did love is, in the game, she finishes him off with a club to the face. And in this one, she takes the broken club, which is a great thing to show how intense the beating was, and she takes the broken club and stabs him in the neck. Yeah, it was emotional, but I've seen it 2 or 3 times at this point in terms of the game and all that, so it didn't hit me as hard. Yeah, so I'm excited to talk to people that are just haven't played the game and just watching on TV that I know. And also talking to the people that had the same experience as me. It's going to be fun going back and forth on what we think they changed and did well. I think the change of the cabin worked out better than having it not be Tommy. I think was the right choice, and Dina's probably a good choice because Joel will be very protective of her. Because I think having the scene where the Horde attacks Jackson, having Tommy back there defending that made more sense than it just being Maria and the town defending against the Horde. So that's why that switch is good. And it also got everybody out of town that needed to be out of town to keep it in line with the game. And then they just had the one sad thing that you didn't think about in the game, because the game hard cuts. And a slight change is that, she crawls over to Joel and sort of, lays with him after he's dead. But they also show you them dragging his body back to town, because how do you get a body back? They don't have like a wagon or something. So dragging it through the snow. It's just sad, but, really gut punch there. They did a good job. It's not as much of a, probably a shock to people that haven't played the game, and I think they nailed it enough for those of us that did it. So, I'm going to go live at 10 o'clock for the next 5 weeks here. I know this one isn't live, but, after 10 to just have my thoughts on each episode be on here. So be known that the opening of these podcasts will all be Last of Us spoilers. And I will put the time thing in the description. So anyway, what I've been playing. On stream, we played some more Amagon. I got 3 more levels through, which means I'm through the 3rd world and halfway through the 4th world of 6. So we should be done that in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's a fun game. The only thing I've not figured out yet is when to go into full Amagon mode, is what I'm calling him. He probably has a name. But to become the big guy that just punches. I usually try to keep it as far as I can to the end, because fighting the bosses with that power is a lot easier than fighting them with the, just the gun, just the bullets. So, just learning that and kind of figuring out the enemies. It took me a little while. I was a little rusty, and, they expect you to keep playing the game and not have to relearn stuff when you come back. So that's probably why we'll do probably 3 and the finale. Instead of 2 at a time, instead of 4 at a time, we're doing 3 from here on out probably, because it'll take me a while to do the first one, and then the other 2 will just breeze through like we did last time. That should all be up next week. Probably going to do that. I don't think I have anything to do Monday night. It just depends on when we record TC Tam. Whether I watch the movie Monday or Tuesday, or Monday or Wednesday. So, you may have everything up this week and maybe later in the week. We'll see. I didn't have any time. I usually do Sunday. Sundays is when I update the YouTube. But with it being Easter, I was not able to do that. So elsewhere we played Trails. And that game is... What's good? It's really good. I trying to find different words to say. The game's just entertaining. I love all the characters in the game. I love the combat system. I'm starting to figure out some things as I was going through this time through. that I probably should have known before. But, getting better at the combat and sort of learning how to stack my things so that I can get more advantage in a fight. So, especially boss fights. We went through a pretty good boss fight where a couple of people did die, but it's just because people miss their hits. And then we just got destroyed. So that game's still kicking. I'm excited to play that. Yeah, that's about it. I played some South of Midnight off stream. Just let you know that game's good. And this Friday we'll be playing Exhibition 33 will be coming out. We'll be playing on Should I Stream It? Just to keep up the ruse. We are definitely going to stream it, and I'll probably play it Saturday and Sunday as well. And probably any space I get, starting on Tuesdays now, once my bowling season's over in a couple weeks. So we're going to be playing a lot of that game. And then, we'll have trails. And then tonight, we'll be playing through Bugs Bunny. We have 70-something lives, so it's really how far I can get through the levels. How quickly, I should say, not how far, quickly. It'll depend on how many more weeks we play that, and then Mighty Bomb Jack, and then we just do the rotation all the way around. Yeah, that's about it. Tonight's going to be a shorter episode. There wasn't much news outside of Nintendo stuff, which we'll go through. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's head over to the news. So first off, Mario Kart had a Nintendo Switch. Let's rewind. Nintendo had a Mario Kart World Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2 launch title. So here's everything that was revealed. The courses will feature a ton of the older courses as well, updated for the Switch 2. And they introduced a few of them today, newer ones. The Mario Brothers Circuit, Crown City, Salty Speedway, Starview Peak, Boo Cinema, Toad Factory, Peach Beach, and Wario Shipyard. So I'm excited to see the older courses as well in this. They announced that there's 24 characters, which we did know. Announced all the characters there. I'm not going to read through them. You can probably find a list of them somewhere. But a lot of deep cut guys in there as well. For those of you that played a lot of Mario games. And then one of the big features is this rewind mode, which is the best of both worlds. In that you can rewind to make a jump or hit a shortcut, but everyone else is still going when you rewind. It doesn't rewind everyone. So you could go from like 5th to 11th while you're trying to make this shortcut. So it may or may not be worth it. But it's a cool feature to have in there. They have the Grand Prix and Knockout Tour. Grand Prix is your typical, it take 4 races for a cup. And I think at the end of each cup, I couldn't tell on the thing that at the end of each cup, you will, okay, no, they updated it here on here. I see an update. If you happen to conquer all of the Grand Prix courses, you'll get Rainbow Road. So we'll see. We'll see what that Rainbow Road looks like, because Rainbow Road's always different in every one of these games. And a Knockout Tour, sort of a Battle Royale type mode, which seems pretty cool. Probably what I would gravitate towards. In this, it seems like a fun thing. I could do just the Grand Prix, just to unlock things, and then the Knockout Tour would be what I would do. Free roam is basically, and you can explore. You can find P-switches, which get blue coins and start missions and just challenges and stuff like that. And there's things, Peach medallions, hidden panels, the restaurants to pick up the new clothes. Just some real fun, innovative stuff for Mario Kart. I know it's probably been in other games, but for Mario Kart itself, it's some cool stuff there. Um, so online plays back, and it's got the whole chat feature with it. Um, you have time trials and things. The big new announcement is some of the new items. There will be a coin shell. The shell can knock rivals off the course and provide coins for you, which is a nice twofer there. Ice flowers can freeze enemies, and then you can have hammers like Hammer Bros to attack enemies and block their paths. The Mega Mushroom will make you grow, and so you can run and squash people like a monster truck. And a feather lets you jump to attack, and also jump to get on the rails or on stuff like that, to get shortcuts or get an advantage to like use the rail grind to get an inside track while passing people. And then Kamek will call in that character and transfer players into something random, which seems fun. So, yeah, Mario Kart World looks fucking awesome. That is all. And good news, pre-orders are beginning April 24th. So this week you can pre-order, and the price remains $44.99. Thank God. Who knows if that price will stay there if certain things go into play. But it'll stay $44.99 or $4.99. And then you can get the bundles for $4.99. And then here are the list of all the things. Yeah, if you're watching the video, you can see them there. For audio listeners, give me 1 second. Sorry, my nose was getting stuffy there, so it was affecting me talking, and I didn't think I could make it through. So we'll just go through for the audio listeners. A regular Nintendo Switch 2 is $449. With Mario Kart World, it's $499. Mario Kart World on its own is $79.99. Donkey Kong is $69.99. A Pro Controller is $84.99. Joy-Con 2 are $94.99. Charging grips are $39.99. Straps are $13.99. Wheel set for Mario Kart and other racing games is $24.99. The camera is $54.99. The dock set is $119.99. The carrying case and screen protector is $39.99. All-in-one carrying case is $84.99. The AC adapter, an extra one, is $34.99. And the Samsung Micro SD Express card for Nintendo 2 Switch is $59.99 for 250 gigabytes. Yeah, that is everything if you're looking to get a Switch 2. Laid out all the prices. So it looks like the fans are not really happy. A lot of them, the fun thing is it looks like some of the Switch 1 stuff is compatible, so you might not need to upgrade, which is good. But everybody is not feeling a lot of these prices, and some of them are a little high. But then again, I haven't had to buy a PS5 or Xbox One controller in a while, so I forgot how expensive they were. This just puts it in line with them there. And I guess final news here, because like I said, there wasn't much in realm of news stuff here today. But the best thing, Switch 2, there was a throwback to the SNES commercial. And, it's pretty fun. There's a famous Paul Rudd one from Super Nintendo. And they did a lot of shot-for-shot stuff. I guess they didn't have the empty parking lot thing that they had in the original, probably a soundstage. They weren't able to get this time, but he dressed the same way. He did a lot of the same motions and stuff, so it's kind of cool. Go check it out. It's one of the positive things from this Switch launch. Yeah. So, that'll do it. A shorter episode today just because we're doing it kind of late. So it'll probably be a little under a half hour. There wasn't much news, and I just mainly wanted to get this out so that we stay consistent with one every week. So, bit of house cleaning. We'll be back tonight with Bugs Bunny's birthday blowout. Thursday is Final Fantasy VI with Tom. Friday is Clay Obscura Expedition 33. Saturday will be probably more Expedition 33 and Trails. And then Sunday will probably be more Expedition 33 and the News Hour. And then that Monday, just to close the loop, will be Mighty Bomb Jack. And then we'll be back to Amagon the week after that. So that should get us to about May or June, like May-ish, by the time I finish those games, and then we'll figure something out from there. If you've been watching the Final Fantasy VI streams, we may have already picked Tom's next game. I'm going to keep pushing it, so that's a good Easter egg for you people watching that stream. So yeah, that'll do it. Thank you guys for joining me. Hopefully this is, one of the shorter ones we have. There should be more news coming out as we get closer to Summer Games Fest. So thank you once again, and we'll see you tonight for Bugs Bunny. Have a good night. Bye.